Either open the window or shove it out or some way that we could get it outside if it caught on fire. But that was a real uh, thrill for us. We didn't. That's the only time of year we'd have lights like that. The rest of the time it'd just be kerosene oil lights and lanterns. I don't remember exactly when electricity came to the house we lived in, where we could have electric lights, but not when we went there. There wasn't any. And I can remember for probably a few years later, before we ever got electricity. And after they got electricity, then they got telephones. And we got telephones almost by the time we got the lights.
Wow. So what kind of Christmas traditions did you have with the grandkids?
What kind of
Christmas traditions did you have?
Christmas traditions?
Yeah.
Well, when you're married and you have your children get to marry, then you always have to share. And we always let whoever let them have what they'd been doing, the way they had their Christmas. And then we did them next. So that was one of the thoughts, at least, we had behind always dividing up our time with the children and their parents, the other parents. So their grandkids too. So for them, so you just have to share. And that's the way we shared. We always took the time that was left.
Did y'all decorate the tree together and stuff?
Oh goodness, that was the big deal. When we had Christmas trees, you had to put together. Did you ever have one like that? Okay. Well, that's what we had, most of the time anyway. And as we put we'd put the limbs together. Well, we'd put the base on where we wanted it, and then we'd start putting the build from the ground up, put the stem in the middle, that everything hooks to, and then get the lengths that goes in and come on up till it makes the shape. And then as soon as we get through with that, we go ahead and put the lights on. And that's what mainly they didn't like this building something as much as they did putting the lights on. But we always had that was a big time, a big day when we put up the Christmas tree. and it's still sitting out there in our garage. I used to put it up in the, in the attic over the garage. But now it's just in the garage. Maybe somebody will more use it, I don't know. We'll see.
When you used to take Chris and Keith to the lake, they had their own island?
Oh, when we went, now, are you talking about a lake in Canada or are you talking about a lake here? In the United States.
I don't know, you used to call it Chris and Keith's Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tell about that.
Now, to start with, just about halfway out to what we call Chris and Keith's Island, we'd go out there and go fishing. But there was a little end of the land that came down in the middle of the lake. See, the lake was formed with two rivers. One over here and one over here. And down this way was the big dam across. So that dam, when it backed the water up, but it came up where there was a nice end from the Highway 30 that goes across there. There's two big bridges. One goes up to the island, as we called it, the end that stuck out and, just a little circle there. Well, that was what we called their island. And we go there fishing and, playing and doing a lot of funny things that they'd like to do. And well, I'd take them out there and we'd just have a ball. And after we got the motorhome, we'd go out to there or go across on the other side of the lake, and there's a nice place over there that we could go and have a cook breakfast and have a lot of fun just passing away the time. And we'd have all the kids when we go out there and have breakfast. Everybody's ready for that.
You used to videotape them talking to each other?
What?
You used to videotape them talking?
I don't think we ever did.
Oh.
I don't know. Looks like we would have, but I don't remember us doing that.
Oh, okay.
We'd have tapes of it somewhere, but I don't think, I just don't remember us doing that. And
it says you taught Keith to read.
To who?
You taught Keith to read.
I missed that.
Oh, you taught Keith to read.
Oh, Keith.
Yeah.
Now, see, he could read, but he was just a little boy, But he was going to school and he could already read. But as soon as he'd get home from school, he'd get the newspaper, and he was really in for sports. and he wanted to know who won all the ball games, you know. And boy, he'd get his daddy, and his daddy'd have to read to him and tell him what all the, you know, games were. And I told him one day, I said, you know how to read, and you can get that newspaper and get right down here in the floor, and you can read everything that Dad reads to you, and he'll have it, you'll know it, you can tell him about it when he comes in. And well, it caught on, and he really he probably wouldn't say I learned to read that way, but what he would probably say is that I remember very well him telling me that I could read that just as good as Dad could. Oh, but he did love all the sports and that everything. And see, we don't put much of the sports from Canada in our newspaper, but Canada puts all of our main, our main sports anyway, puts them right in their newspapers. So they know what's going on down here as far as sports is concerned, but you don't know what's going on. We won't know what's going on for them because we don't do the same thing for them.
So what sports did your grandkids play?
Oh goodness, they played. Oh, what is one of them is what in the world? You have a thing about this big around, and it slides on the floor.
Oh, curling?
Curling, I think that's right. And they were learning that, or Keith was, and Chris didn't care about sports. He was into computers, and if it wasn't computers, he didn't hardly want to be bothered with it. But we'd go out and watch Keith play softball in Canada, and we would be standing out there and the mosquitoes would just be eating us up, and he was off out there in the field where he was by himself, and there's all this cluster around, and he didn't even know they were bothering. But Jeannie and most of all the girls, I guess, that was out there where they were playing, they were headed for the cars, and you got in there and got so they could watch, but you'd watch from the car. They were waiting for us to, but we stood out there and with the mosquitoes and watched him play ball. But he really enjoyed all kinds of sports. And right now, his son plays basketball. I'm not sure if he's playing tennis or not, right? has started playing tennis. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. And